Good morning. Good morning from Athens. I'm Vangelis Karkaletsis. I'm the coordinator of the AI4Copernicus project. I am the director of the Institute of Informatics and Telecommunications at NCSR Demokritos in Greece. This is a happy day for us at AI4Copernicus and also for the projects and the people that will be awarded from the first and second open calls we had in AI4Copernicus. I will be very brief, starting with a short introduction of our project, the AI4Copernicus project. The full name, reinforcing the AI4EU platform by advancing Earth observation, intelligence, innovation, and adoption. This is an innovation action project started last year in January 21 with 3 years duration. It belongs to a family of projects, the so-called ICT49 projects. The main issue in all these projects, 6 projects belong in this family. One of them is AI4Copernicus. And the main issue in all these ICT49 projects is to support the AI4EU platform. We call it now AI on demand platform, enhancing its resources, the resources included in the AI on demand platform, and also enriching the community exploiting these resources and all the other functionalities of the platform. In our case, with respect to the target community, our target community, as the name says also, it is the Earth observation community. But I suppose more on the ICT49 and the AI on demand platform ecosystem, you will be here just after me from the head of the unit, Cecile Huet. Now, in order to carry out our work in AI4Copernicus, bringing in the AI4EU community, the Earth observation community and resources, we formed a consortium of 11 partners from 7 countries, bringing partners with different expertise, partners from the research and academic community. Demokritos is one of them. We are a research institution. The University of Athens, which is the technical manager of the project, the University of Trento in Italy, but we also have partners with business expertise in SEAD, the business school from France. We have many partners from the industrial community, either with expertise on artificial intelligence or with expertise on Earth observation. We have Thales from France, which was also the coordinator of the recently completed AI4EU project. Thales Alenia Space from France again. Equinor from Norway. The Satellite Center of the European Union from Spain. The European Center for Weather Forecasts from the UK, the ECMWF. Cloudfero, Blue Site Conseil. So many experts with different expertise. I would like to stress also that, and this is related also to the outcomes of the first call today, the first call asked for proposals in 4 domains, in energy, in agriculture, in security, environment and health. And we have representatives of all these domains in our consortium, Equinor for energy, SATCEN, the Satellite Center for security, Trento for food and agriculture, ECMWF for health and environment. And also with respect to the Earth observation facilities, the data and information access services, we have Cloudfero, which is responsible for 2 of the DIA services. So the aim in AI4Copernicus is to, as I said also previously, is to bring together these 2 worlds. On the one hand, the AI4EU platform, the AI on demand platform, and on the other hand, the already established DIAS platforms, the Data and Information Access Services platforms that are providing Earth observation data and services. AI4EU platform provides several tools and services through its catalog, through its experimentation service. It also provides a content management system. On the other hand, the DIAS platforms provide Earth observation data and services. And in the middle, we have the AI4Copernicus. The AI4Copernicus partners, in order to bring these two worlds together, bring also additional tools and resources, either generic tools and services, AI tools, and on the other hand, the so-called bootstrapping services, which are domain-specific services and data that will be deployed through DIASys and through the AI on-demand platform, and will be exploited by the projects that will be funded through the open calls. So I stop here and I give the floor to the head of our unit in the European Union, Cécile Huet. Cécile?
Thanks a lot, Vangelis, and thanks to AI4Copernicus and all the effort they make to build with us and help us building this AI on-demand platform. So the goal of my presentation today is to explain a bit the role of the AI on-demand platform, which is really a strategic initiative to build this European ecosystem of excellence in AI. As you introduced myself, I'm the head of the unit Robotics and AI Excellence and Innovation, and all these projects are funded in the context of our unit, and we have a whole team working with the communities to build it together. So as you know, in Europe, we want to have an AI which is trustworthy, and for that we have two initiative. One is to develop an ecosystem of trust with the regulatory framework, where we might want to make sure that we have the rules in place to protect people, but we also want to put in place everything which is needed to deploy the technology for the benefit of the people, for the benefit of Europe as a community, an industry, an economy as well, and its environmental aspect as well. So this is this two-pronged approach, and the role of research and innovation is key, and the role of the AI on-demand platform is also very important in that respect. So the objective of the AI on-demand platform, we started this initiative a bit before 2018, where we say, okay, what is the situation in Europe? We have plenty of excellent researchers, excellent research results, but the problem is we don't bring it to the market. So what's happening? We are not competitive when compared to the big GAFAs, where they have a huge number of people concentrated in some areas, while in Europe we have plenty of excellent teams dispersed in Europe. What can we do to build on this capacity, build on those results? And one of the tools that we put in place is to develop this AI on-demand platform, and it's not just a project, is an initiative which is there to last, and it's something to support and help the whole communities. So we started with a first call and a first project which puts the foundation, and gradually we're developing the AI on-demand platform. So the goal was really to bring around this platform saying, okay, what are the resources we have, and what can we do for the researcher to help them progress together faster in reusing results, for instance, because usually the results, once finished at the end of the project, what happened with the result, they sometimes were not exploited nor rebuilt, so we were restarting from scratch again and again and again in projects. So the goal is really to have also a repository where people can put the result and they can be reused later on. Also for researchers to share their scientific progress, compare and so on. And it's a tool as well to build the community. So it's about having tools, but also building a community. So collaboration in research, connection among people and among the whole stakeholders. And then the second part is research is one thing, but we have to connect also research and innovation. So how do we bring research to innovation? So how can make sure that on such a platform we will have high quality AI component, and how can we guarantee that to build trust as well for the potential user? And this platform is also there to help the AI innovators we have in Europe. We want to provide them the biggest visibility they can have to be able also to deploy their innovation to the market. So you see, there is something for every single stakeholder in AI on this platform. Now we have really to bring all the necessary also stakeholder expert in AI in Europe to grow this platform and make it successful. So it's very challenging, but there is a lot to gain, and we have already done the first steps. So the core objective was to avoid this fragmentation we have in Europe, to support really, to create a supportive platform on AI for European stakeholders. So beyond creating a repository and sharing of tools, we want to create a community of stakeholders. So building this shared repository of AI knowledge, tool, and asset. And we also want through this platform also to link to the necessary resources such as data, such as compute power, and so on. And we want also to align the experts in AI research to support the innovation and the tech transfer to SME, to low-tech SMEs, and also any kind of user, even bigger industries as well. So you see on the platform the different elements which are there, and then in the first step of the creation of the AI on demand platform, which was funded through the first project. So we started with putting the first pillars. So there were AI scientific research done there, already the creation of an AI repository. And then there was also together with that, the development of a scientific and innovation agenda. The goal of developing trustworthy AI, so the ethical dimension was developed there as well. And they also started also to build case study, and not only to have the repository, but seeing how you can use it through different use cases. And for that, they had open call to develop also experiment on the platform. So these were the seed of the platform, which is expected to have an impact on the larger community, to the policymaker, to the developers, to all the potential user sector in Europe, and of course supporting the researcher, of course. So as you see, this has a critical role in the whole AI ecosystem that we want to build and have a very tight ecosystem there. Now, what do we have at this point today? So the first project which has put the seed of the AI on demand platform is AI4EU. So we have already a number of services that you can have there. So there is a number, there is a catalog of resources that can be used. And then there are also a community that has already been, this is part of the platform itself, and we expect it to grow and then to reinforce itself over the time. And then you also have experiments on the AI on demand platform, so you can test on the platform. It offers you a possibility of testing based on the resource, based on the different modules you find there, based on the expertise also you find there, and access to the different resources you need to test and develop AI solutions. Now, that was the first project, which was building the foundation and wanted to let's say set an infrastructure to start. And after, we had a second call, which is the ICT 49 call, and the goal was to reinforce the service layer of the AI on demand platform. So based on the first infrastructure, we wanted to reinforce this service layer and to reinforce also the resource you put on the platform, but also to attract more and more users to the platform in boosting really the use of the platform through some use case and small scale experiments. And this is what is happening today with Copernicus. You have this cascading fund where you can attract additional resource or additional user of the platform. So how another initiative we did is we are also reinforcing our research in Europe, and we have these networks of excellence centers. We have invested 50 million euro in funding 4 big research network, and together with a coordination and support action to help them working together. And the goal of these networks of excellence centers is really to bring the best researcher to join forces and progress faster in research and in technology progress. And we ask them to use the AI on demand platform as a backbone for their research. So they should use the resource which are on the platform, but they are requested to put their resource as well on the platform so that they can later on benefit all the users of these resources. So you see, we have from research, ICT 49, these networks of excellence center, then the ICT 49, the innovation action from which AI4Copernicus is part of, and this is to re-enrich more the tools for the user, so an innovation toward attracting more user of the platform, so going towards innovation. So with this second call, the ICT 49 that Vangelis mentioned, we fund 6 projects, and AI4Copernicus is one of them, but we have different one more focusing on low-tech user, one on planning, one on more edge AI, embedded AI, one on energy, one on DIH. So DIH is based on bringing the digital transformation to the regional aspect. So we want to also bring the AI on demand platform to the regional dimension. And last but not least, AI4Copernicus that Vangelis mentioned and described, so you know this one well. So here are the 4 networks of excellence center, each of them focusing on a specific aspect, the one on media, the use of AI for media, the second one more on machine learning, the third one more on empowering human, the fourth one on really building a trustworthy AI in integrating both research and optimization and reasoning, and vision is the project helping them to work together. So you see the different component here is the landscape of the AI ecosystem of excellence, and you see on the left the tool that the AI on demand platform provides. I will not go in the detail, but what is really critical, and all the future project that we are funding, we ask them to put their resource on the AI on demand platform so that it can be reused. It doesn't mean that they have to put for free their resource on the platform. It's also, the platform is expected to play a huge role in the visibility of the AI excellence in Europe and the AI tools we have in Europe. So also for developers, businesses in AI, the platform should offer them also a very nice way to reach the market and the users. So here you see different initiatives. I'm not going to detail them. I want just to mention the PPP, Public-Private Partnership on AI, Data and Robotics. And the goal of the PPP is to bring the community, mobilize the community to help us defining the priority for research and innovation in the next funding program. So if you're not yet part of ADRA, the association which represents the AI community, I would strongly encourage you to become a member of ADRA, the association which represents the private part of the public-private partnership we have on these technologies. So you see, every stakeholder has a role in this community, and together we are growing, we're developing this ecosystem of excellence. What is the future? So here, time-wise, I said we have started with AI4U, the very first project we funded. Then the what we call the ICT48, so the research project progressing on science, so the network of excellence centers. Then the 6 innovation action, bringing then the existing tool to the end user, reinforcing the service layer on the platform. We are growing this level of services you find on the platform, and we are continuing the effort. So in Horizon Europe, so now we have new framework program. We have one more on research, one more on deployment and capacity building. For the program on research, which is Horizon Europe, we have a big coordination and support action, which reinforces the platform to serve the research community, helping them to progress together and advance science and excellence in science in Europe. And in the other part, which is the Digital Europe program towards more capacity building and deployment, we will continue as well funding the development of the AI on demand platform, and there really to serve the industry, the user, also the public sectors, the SMEs, and making sure that the tools which are there are of highest quality, are the AI made in Europe, which is really human-centric. We want to respect our values and show the example in the world, the way we want to have AI in Europe. So we count on all of you to develop this AI on demand platform from all and for all. So your role, the role of each of you is essential, and what AI4Copernicus is doing today is critical. So these first set of winners are populating and enriching the platform. So each of you is playing a key role in making the platform what we want really to have this community and this tool and this ecosystem of excellence in Europe. So please continue doing this big effort, putting a lot of visibility about the excellence we have in Europe and growing together to even reinforce it. So thank you again, and congratulations to the winner. And please continue this. We'll do it together. Thank you. I wish you a great event.
Thank you very much, Cecile. A large ecosystem has been set up through all this initiative, and this will be enlarged even further through the new initiatives. In our case, going back to AI4Copernicus, following to what Cecile said and what I've said previously, 2 things. One thing is to enrich the AI on-demand platform with tools and services related to the Earth observation community. And the other is to provide them to SMEs through the open calls. Approximately half of the budget of the project is addressing and this is the case for the other ICT49 projects, is addressing the winners of the open calls. And in AI4Copernicus, we have 4 rounds of open calls. We have completed the first and the second round. So we have completed the first and the second round. We start with the first round, the first open call, which was addressing consortia of SMEs, consortia of 2 or 3 SMEs that had to submit a proposal with their ideas related to Earth observation, data and services, and how they plan to implement their proposal, exploiting their own tools, but also the tools that are provided by AI4Copernicus, by the AI on demand platform, and exploiting also DS services. So that we had launched this first round of open calls in July last year, with a deadline end of September. The funding for each successful proposal could be up to 150,000 euros. This was the case for project for consortia of 3 SMEs, and up to 120,000 euros for consortia of 2 SMEs. And a restriction: each consortium had to include at least 1 low technology SME. What does this mean? Low technology, not within expertise in artificial intelligence. We ran this first round of open calls. We received at the end 34 submissions in 4 domains. As I said before, this first call covered 4 domains: agriculture, 13 submissions; energy, 7; health, 4; and security, 10 submissions. 81 SMEs were participating in this first round from 18 countries. This took a lot of work for us inside the consortium because we followed an evaluation process which included 2 evaluations per proposal, so in total 68 evaluations, and this was provided internally by the consortium partners, plus at the second stage a panel evaluation with 5 panel chairs, and at the end, at the third stage, the top-ranked proposals were evaluated by our advisory board, and this is something that I would like to mention. We have a strong advisory board inside the AI4Copernicus, including, I will just briefly give the names: Alain Arnaud from Mercator Ocean, Pierre-Philippe Mathieu from ESA, Ioannis Papoutsis from the National Observatory of Athens, Mihir Sarkar from NG Digital, and Jeff Sawyer from the European Association of Remote Sensing Companies. So we brought in that advisory board different stakeholders in order to enable us to enlarge also and address the Earth observation and artificial intelligence community and support us in their work, advising us in the progress of the project, but supporting us also in the evaluation process. And following that evaluation process, we reached to 6 proposals to be funded, and 3 put in a reserved list. Today, we will provide through this formal award, this formal ceremony, we will announce the 5 of the projects to be funded from the first call. We had an issue with one of the projects to be funded on one of the 6 projects, and we had to pass to one of the reserved list, and we are not able to announce the 6th one today. This will be done in the coming days. So we have together with us the 5 successful projects. So if we can proceed, please, to the next slide. So the first one, it's carnival time in Athens. Okay, that's why we use this effect. So SR4C3, super resolution for climate crisis context. This is a project on security, and I would like to ask Marco Folegani from Sistema, the coordinator of SR4C3, to give us a few words. Marco, please, in 5 minutes, some information about your idea in SR4C3. Congratulations.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you, Vangelis, for this introduction. I am perfectly aware that the acronym is not so clear, it's not so easy to be pronounced, but the extended title of the project explains much better the concept and the context. Indeed, a super resolution for climate crisis context deals with the technology component based on artificial intelligence, dealing with the super resolution product extracted and generated from Earth observation data. And the scope is to use this technology and these data sources for the generation of information product, information layer for climate crisis context. The climate crisis and climate security is an emerging and increasing domain, a critical domain that is, we know that is impacting a lot those fragile countries that cannot count on robust and consolidated infrastructure. We are using in Europe to think to problems in a dimension that deals with the resilience of our society and of our, of course, civil protection infrastructure. But we are also aware that there are countries that are more exposed than us, than Europe countries, to a climate change, climate crisis, even though because the instability, the human crisis, and so on. So the idea is to generate, to implement a technological solution to support this kind of problem of critical issues. And the title reflects also the composition of the consortium. We have the technological partner, which is Sistema, with a lot of experience in Earth observation and in super resolution services already developed in other similar domains, like, for example, Yemen or Vietnam, and so on. And the CMC Consulting, which is the operator domain, the company that is supporting on field the crisis situations. The composition of the consortium so reflects the requirements of the call and also the scope of the project. The plan of the project is to create a customization of existing Earth observation artificial intelligence solution for super resolution, to extract information, layer information indicators for crisis monitoring, crisis management. The CMC Consulting will support us in providing a use case. The first target area will be Darfur, but the idea is also to extend the application to other areas. And we will going to deploy the proof of concept on CREO-DS. It is a DS we as a system already know, because we have already deployed other system. And we are pretty confident that this is one of the DS that can provide a strong support to our pilot. So this is, in few words, the project. I would like again to thank you for this opportunity, and I want to provide you great results from our pilot. Thank you, Vangelis. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Marco. Now you are a member of the AI4Copernicus family, okay, and in general the ICT49 family of projects, the AI on-demand ecosystem. Thank you. Can we please proceed to the next project? Slide, satellite images prediction with deep learning. We have with us Thomas Carrier from Soleis. Thomas?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Thomas,
okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you
for this award. So please, 5 minutes to present your idea.
Yes. So first, maybe I'll start with giving you a few words about the companies that are involved in this project. So there are two companies, Soleis. I'm from Soleis. and also Transvalor. So Solaris is a company that provides engineering and consulting service in the photovoltaic industry in many subjects. So ranging from solar resource characterization, forecasts, design and development of large scale PV plants and other services. It was founded in 2008, and we are located in southern France. Transvalor is also in the same area in southern France, and it's a company that provides solar and weather resource for site assessments and forecasting. So we are on a similar discipline. However, Transvalor takes advantage of satellite imagery. They supply the SODA web service platform that gives access to helioclim data. So this is a database that is owned and provided by Transvalor. They are also official provider of the CAMS radiation service. And we both work very closely with the Center OIE from MinParisTech, which is a research center from French University on observations, impacts, and energy. So now talking about these projects, the project aims to give some service to the photovoltaic forecasting, of course, especially in the range of a few hours ahead forecasts. Of course, there are already many algorithms to provide this kind of forecast. However, we think there is some room for improvements in these forecasts. The main one being that this forecast already use satellite pictures and satellite images to provide the expected power. However, they typically use advective approaches, which means that based on a series of images, they try to track the clouds and derive the motion vectors on the cloud to provide an estimation of the next satellite picture. Now, there are powerful algorithms to do this, but they rely on some assumptions that are quite restrictive in the case of cloud forecasting. The main assumptions being constancy of the lightning and also no formation of clouds. And also there is an implied restriction of this algorithm that since it uses only two pictures, it is difficult to derive rotating movement that can frequently happen in meteorology. So what we propose regarding the technical parts is to provide an algorithm that does kind of the same thing, but using deep learning techniques, such as generative adversarial neural networks. That's what we expect to develop in the project. So these are machine learning techniques that are theoretically able to leverage some context information from the satellite pictures. What I mean is they will not be restricted to only physically derive the motion vectors and propagate them. They can guess some meteorological context from the pictures, and we can also augment the input and give them explicit conditional meteorological features, such as forecast from or observation from meteorology providers. And all of this can help the algorithm understanding the context and theoretically derive better estimation for the next satellites, because they can understand that in this kind of context, it is expected that some clouds could appear, or that we are in a typical situation where clouds have a certain type of movement, and they can identify all of this by comparing the features to past data and propagating them. So effectively, this will increase further the horizon range in which we can use satellite information from actually currently a few hours to maybe 6-7 hours if the results follow. Now, the development of the project will be in two phases. The first one will be, of course, the development of the algorithms and the training of the model, since they are models that require some training periods. For this, we expect to use Transvalor hardware, since we are already possess some hardware that allows this kind of calculations. And also, since Transvalor is a provider of Copernicus data, they already have a large part of the data that we expect to use in this project. And so it is a good idea in the development phase to have the calculation made as close as possible to the data to facilitate all the back and forth that can happen during the development phases between data, models, and training. Now, in the second phase, once the model is validated, we expect two things. First thing is to augment their capacity by providing them exogenous data coming from numerical weather forecast providers or meteorological observations. All this data will be coming from, of course, other Copernicus services. So we have to link this first algorithm with Copernicus, and also we want to host the algorithm on maybe a DIAS such as QDIAS or Wikio, so that every potential user of the forecast can access them. So in this phase, we do not require as much calculation power, since training is the most difficult part that requires the most calculation. So calculations can also be done directly on the DIAS using hardware from the Copernicus environment. Now, a few words now to conclude about who are these forecasts useful for. Mainly, we expect it to be useful for managers of isolated systems, such as off-grid power sites, or maybe transmission system operators of island power networks, and the likes. Because, of course, these forecasts in the few hours are more requested for stability of electrical power grids rather than energy trading or things like this, because energy trading requires forecast for the next day. In the few hours range, it's mostly, yes, for operators of power systems. So we expect that they will benefit greatly from the developments that we propose in this project. I think this is all for me. It's good for you.
Thank you very much, Thomas.
You're welcome.
Congratulations again. We'll be in touch definitely for the next months in the AI4Copernicus family. Thank you again. Shall we proceed to the third project? So the third project, Valence, AI4Copernicus Blue, is a project on security. I would like to ask Benoit Helbuc. Benoit?
Yes, thank you. Good morning. My name is Benoit Helbuc from the Belgian company Le Lieu FBV, commercial name Ship Detection. And I'm here to represent the AI4Copernicus Blue consortium. And together with the Norwegian company Vaker.ai, we will focus on the analysis of satellite data to detect high-risk vessels that we will then send as alerts to our third consortium partner, the Belgian company NSAS, North Sea Aviation Services. They have a fleet of brand new DA62 surveillance aircrafts for whom we will provide better guidance with these alerts. We are very excited for this partnership because our tools will be used for live search and rescue missions and coast guards in several countries. Currently, most vessel surveillance is done with AIS, traditionally a vessel anti-collision tool, and only 60,000 of the 3 million engine-powered fishing vessels in the world use this system. So this shows the need of satellite detections to be able to surveil these thoroughly. Moreover, only 20,000 of these vessels can be found in public vessel databases. So the detection is one part, but on the other hand, we have to know which one of these vessels do strange operations and are high risk, and where we should send a patrol to. Our focus is not only fisheries, but also the offshore industry sector to protect their submarine cables. So for instance, energy, telecom, and oil and gas pipelines run great risk from anchors and fishing gear. And the damage runs quickly up in the millions. We are really excited for the coming months, and thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Benoit. Very interesting project. We'll be in touch for the next months. Thank you very much. Let's proceed to the fourth project, SEN for WIDS, automatic detection and mapping of in-field WIDS. This is, as the name says, this is a project in agriculture. So I would like to ask Niels Helset from Farm and Guard to tell us a few words about Send for Weeds.
Thanks so
Niels?
much, Ben. Yeah, thank you so much, Vangelis, and absolutely thrilled to be here. And thanks for the opportunity to be able to participate in this program. So I'm Niels. I'm one of the founders and also a 15th generation farmer in Norway. And I took over my family farm 8 years ago, and what we're doing here in this project is the ability to create an automatic solution for detecting in-field weeds. And particularly, I have two partners with us, DigiFarm as well from Norway, as an Altin as well from Switzerland. And of course, from my own personal experience as a farmer, wild oats and weeds is a big problem. This is specifically what we're focusing on first, is wild oats. And for my own family operation, we have about 80 hectares in Norway, and this wild oats is a big problem. We have to go manually scouting these weeds in the fields every year. And with the uncontrolled infestation of wild oats, it's a big problem with the spreads. And of course, you have a lower yield, up to 80% if it spreads uncontrollably. And you have a lot of resistance when it comes to herbicides, the ability to manage these weeds. So what we're doing is the ability to detect weeds in field using super resolution Sentinel-2 data. And really the basis for this starts with, of course, automatic field boundary delineation. So knowing exactly where the boundary is, the seeded acres, and then using the super resolution imagery to be able to capture and detect these wild oats fields. And specifically, we're doing this in Norway first, around the area where I'm based, and also with the Norwegian Agricultural Advisory Organization, some training data there, and then also in Canada. And we're focusing on just early emergence and 3x3 meter clusters of wild oats. And the target is to be able to have an 80% accuracy in detecting these weeds. And of course, it's as I mentioned, it's a big problem for us. It's hard to distinguish these in the field with low resolution imagery, and for us, we typically been going out in the fields every year, every track, and for us, even 80 hectares is a 3-4 day kind of job, so to say, to do. So the ability to control this and detect this at an early stage and to be able to manage it is a big plus. So specifically, this solution will be for, of course, farmers directly, but also, of course, the crop protection input producers as well, to be able to supply this directly to their clients. And yes, and of course, wild oats is the pilot and the basic, but of course, meadowgrass and other weeds will be on the timeline as long as we start this wild oats, of course, and get reliable accuracy on the algorithm. So yeah, thrilled to be here. And thank you so much, Vangelis, again for the opportunity, and thanks.
Thank you very much, Niels. I didn't know that you are also a farmer.
Yeah,
this makes it even more interesting. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for the opportunity.
Okay. Let's proceed to the fifth project, the last project from the first round, Humanity Watch. This is on security, and it will be presented by Richard Barret. Richard,
hello.
Welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And I would like to thank all the AI4Copernicus team for the trust you put on our company, Pickstart and K-Head Consulting. So Pickstart is a 5-year-old French company based in Toulouse. We are specialized in downstream application using satellite data. We work on retail sector, water management sector, forestry sector, security sector, and now in humanitarian sectors. 1 year ago, we have started a prototype in partnership with a French non-governmental organization to check the interest and capacity of satellite information in the humanitarian analysis. On its side, we are in partner with K-Head Consulting. This is an international consulting group based in France with partnership across the globe. They focus on improving assistance to crisis-affected population. They have already worked with more than 60 unique NGO and UN agency. So the two companies are totally complementary. One will provide the IT and sensor information skills. The second will provide the humanitarian business knowledge. To complete the team, we have signed a partnership with a non-governmental organization, and they will be our end users for the demonstration phase. So as you said, and you certainly understood, the project is about humanitarian. We will develop an operational demonstrator, including a contextual analysis tools to support non-governmental organizations in their crisis support. Indeed, for all they don't know humanitarian activity. The humanitarian crises are more and more complex with security issues, rapidly growing needs for local population, and lot of access and support constraints. The rapid situation change create a lot of difficulty for humanitarian support. And it's essential for them to have the maximum up-to-date information to be sure which kind of support they have to provide. And also how they could be the most efficient to provide this support. And unfortunately, which area or which population at risk they have to prioritize in their help. So it's why the demonstrator's aims will be to transform Copernicus data, thanks with artificial intelligence, into valuable information for crisis contextual analysis. As example, we will integrate refugees camp detection, agriculture activity check, water situation report, cruising capacity, and so on. The detection and indicator will be calculated through artificial intelligence analysis algorithm, which will run on satellite imagery data. And thanks to other data coming from other sources, and thanks to business rules provided by our humanitarian expert, we generate a confidence index which will be associated with the information provided by the artificial intelligence. And all the information will be provided to the expert through a data visualization and interactive tools. Concerning the Copernicus data, we will use at minima Sentinel data. You understand, Sentinel satellite data, atmospheric information to trade the Sentinel data, and Copernicus land cover. But also we are open to use other Copernicus data, and it's why we will start the project with the first study and the first check about all the data and tools which are already available in the Copernicus platform and in the AI on-demand platform. And so we thanks in advance all the experts from the AI4Copernicus partner, which will help us in that task. At the end of the study, we will organize a requirement workshop with our partner, NGO partner, and K-head expert. And following this, we will start an implementation phase of 5 or 6 months. And finally, at the end of the project, we will run an 8 months demonstration phase on a real situation. We will have a really operational demonstration, and we will use this demonstration phase to generate report for the NGO, which are our partnership as end users. So at the end of the project, our objective is to have a new offer inside our company to provide analysis for non-governmental organization or in destination to some company like our partner K-head, which are humanitarian consulting. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Thank you very much, Richard. A very interesting project, and its target especially. Thank you so much. Welcome again, and congratulations. Can we please proceed to the next project?
Hello, my name is Diego. I'm from Encore Lab, and I'm here on behalf of the Scabijo project. The Scabijo project means Scalable Vegetation Index and Harvesting Forecaster. Probably that have any sense to you, but I will try to explain what it means. Satellite images has been widely used for precision agriculture during 20 years ago. There are a lot of research done trying to infer the relationships between the optical channels of the satellite and the data it provides to us to measure the background process of physical and biological events. These relationships are called indexes. In agriculture, probably the oldest and the most famous indices in DVI. And DVI means Normalized Difference Vegetation Index. And it measures the vegetation, the green masses of an image. In the background, it really measured the chlorophyll of the leaves. It's supposed that if a plant is growing healthy, the levels of chlorophyll are good and in a good shape. But if not, for example, the plant is running out of water or affected by a disease, the levels of chlorophyll will decrease. And this index is very useful for farmers because they can see at a glance thousands of square meters of crops just watching the screen of the computer. But it works very well only in the stream values. Then the index is normalized. That means that it ranges from 0 to 1. And this is in these stream values is very easy to make conclusions. You have normal values of NDVI and you see a spot with near 0 values of NDVI. Probably you could think that there is a problem or the irrigation system is not working, disease is affecting your plants or whatever. But the problem is in the middle of this range. In the middle of the range, values from 0.4 to 0.7 or 8 is not easy to make conclusions. And most of the time of the life cycle of the plant is ranging in these values. Therefore, the idea of the project in the first phase is to zoom into these levels and to provide the farmer a more resolution of the NDVI index. For that, we need the assessment of agriculture people because the NDVI range depends of the type of crop. In this case, my tierra is a winery in Spain with more than 300 hectares of vineyards all over the world, will help into correlate the NDVI values and the phenological status of the grapes. With this information, we can do many things. In the first phase, zooming into the NDVI index, giving to the farmer more information and precise information and more resolution of the index. And in the second phase, we can predict the harvesting date. The harvesting date is related with the phenological status, the evolution of the plant. And if we have correlated the NDVI with the phenological status, we can predict the harvesting date, knowing the evolution on NDVI index. Probably the date of harvesting is not relevant for you because for single user or small area of crops, no matter if you harvest today or tomorrow or yesterday, but think about wineries, big wineries with great amount of plots or companies related with vegetables and freezing that have more than one harvest per year. Just knowing the exact day that they have to do the harvesting will allow them to plan resources, machinery, and don't waste many. That's the reason that the importance of this forecasting. That's all from my side. Thank you all for allow us to be in this great project.
Thank you so much. Congratulations again. We finished with the first successful proposals from the first round of open calls. Something that I need to stress is that these projects, these 6 projects that will have a duration of 14 months plus 2 additional months with mentoring activities, especially for sustainability. But during these 14 months, there will be a support officer from AI4Copernicus for each of the projects in order to support in their activities, especially in relation to the information, especially in relation to the resources that we provide inside the AI4Copernicus, either from the AI on demand platform, from the consortium directly, or from the DIAS services. And especially, I just want to stress this, 2 DIASes are provided through AI4Copernicus, Creo DIAS and Wekeo. And both these infrastructures are operated by our partner in AI4Copernicus, Cloudfero. So we have direct support from Cloudfero for these DIAS services. We have, by the way, we have together with us the project officer of our project, Esther Diaz. Esther, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning. Congratulations to all the winners.
Nice to see you again. Thank you for being with us today.
No problem. I'm here for you.
Okay, and what I wanted to add, especially for the Earth observation community, we had been in touch with the European Association of Remote Sensing Companies, and actually one of our advisory board members is one of the heads in the European Association of Remote Sensing Companies, and they helped us to address that community. And we are also in connection with ESA, and again, one of our advisory board members is running the AI Earth Observation Challenge in ESA, and we're doing joint activities with them. So we try to bring these communities together, and the efforts inside other initiatives like the initiatives of ESA or other initiatives inside the Horizon program, like the DT Space initiative, the DT Space 25, which has to do with big data and artificial intelligence in Earth observation. And again, one of the coordinators of these projects is also a part of our advisory board, and this is very helpful in order to enlarge our community. Esther, I don't, maybe you want to add something?
No, as Cecile mentioned, there are several initiatives now in the Digital Europe program that will target data, big data, and different aspects. So probably, as you mentioned, now we are still doing some efforts, but in the future we will need to coordinate with other projects that will come from these calls. So we are moving.
Yeah. We are also coordinating with the other ICT49 projects in order to bring additional tools and resources, not only useful for the AI4Copernicus open calls projects, but also for the projects that will result from the other ICT49 projects and the other projects inside the AI on-demand ecosystem. I think we can proceed to the second part of our ceremony, the second open call. And this is very special. And I really like personally this call. This is not addressing SMEs. This was addressing citizens. So we asked citizens to provide ideas for exploiting Earth observation data and artificial intelligence in order to tackle social challenges. The deadline for that call, we issued it at the same time with the first call. The deadline was end of October. As it is in our grant agreement, 2 proposals would be funded. The funding is 5,000 euros for each citizen proposal. The beneficiaries are individuals. Social challenges. So we received 12 submissions from 8 countries. And you can see here the social challenges identified by citizens during this call. Creating digital twins of remote territorial areas, mapping health facilities, for illegal fishing, for air quality, for waste management, for predicting economic recessions, for predicting fire risk, for predicting health risks, for predicting poverty, for reducing greenhouse effects in cities, for reducing the overheating of urban spaces. And the important thing that I have to note here is that these social challenges identified by citizens during the second call are feeding actually the proposals we expect for the additional use cases in our fourth call that is currently ongoing. So this is really, the ideas of citizens are really very important for us. So out of these 12 proposals on citizen-driven social challenges, we selected 2 of them. So PAUHI, I'm not sure if I pronounce it well. This is a proposal on reducing the urban heat island effect. And I would like to ask Georg Weidenberger to present us his idea. Georg?
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Congratulations, Georg. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Georg Weidenberger. Thank you for being so interested in my project proposal idea against the urban heat island effect. I'm happy that Copernicus has selected my view, and I would like to thank you very much for the prize. I work in 3D printing for the construction industry. At some point, I asked myself how we can 3D printing use to give building components additional functions and solve some problems of our time. Through research, I came across the urban heat island effect problem. Because of the rapid climate change and the densification of the urban fabric, the overheating of urban space is a significant problem in many cities. Due to the compactness and increased building density, the heat trapped in the canyons of streets keep temperatures even at night high. As a result, residents are dependent on cooling and cannot rest at night, leading to significant health problems. The urban heat island effect leads worsening of the living environment for residents and increase in energy consumption because buildings have to be air conditioned. My idea is to use the enormous unused vertical building surface to cool down street canyons. To achieve this, we need facades that do not reflect the sun rays, like glass and aluminium, but have a self-shadowing effect. The impact should be that vertical building surfaces reflect less radiation so that the environment heats up less. Modern facade constructions made of glass, aluminium reflect solar radiation and heat the environment. Since these facades are usually very thin and have little mass, they do not store much heat but emit or transmit it. As a result, the interiors and surroundings are also heated up in warm areas. The development of large recyclable master forms from mineral material by 3D printing makes it possible to manufacture economically free-form building components from concrete, clinker bricks, or other building materials. Such free-form components have more mass than can better compensate for temperatures. Their geometric diversified shape has a self-shadowing effect and reduce noise level. As a result, we can reduce the surface temperature of the wall. The incident sun rays are diffusely deflected, and so the entire environment is heated less because no surfaces are exposed direct radiation in the long term. Earth observation data can help to identify urban heat islands. With the help of satellites, it is possible to find and observe heat areas in the city and compare this data with climate data. Satellite images can also get a picture of the surroundings. With the help of AI, it is possible to analyze all data from the Earth observation, climate data, building data, data from the development plan, and local parameters. We can use AI to derive target messages to schematic facade diversification or urban greening from the data evaluation. And thank you for listening. This was my idea.
Thank you very much, Georg, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Something that I would like to stress, and this is for the case of Georg and also the other proposal that I will talk right away. is that you, Georg, and the other citizen-driven proposal, you have access also to our technical workshop. So right after, actually, we have our first technical workshop addressing the successful use case projects, and we're going to have a series of such workshops. So this will give you, if you are interested in the opportunity to continue your idea, and maybe with our support, in order to probably implement this idea in the future. Okay, so you'll have the chance to access the technical work that we do inside the AI4Copernicus project, and also in the family of ICT49 projects, because this is something that you can attend, of course. So thank you again, Georg.
Very good.
Congratulations for once more. So from the urban heat island, we go to Artemis. I can pronounce it better. From Pauhi, Georg. Okay. So Artemis has to do with artificial intelligence and Earth observation for monitoring of the greenhouse emitted by landfills. So I would like to ask Valentina Manganozzi to present us her idea for Artemis. Valentina?
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning. Nice to have you with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank you for this award, which honors me and excites me a lot. I am an anesthetist who works in an emergency room in intensive care unit, and I live and work in Rome. About me, I've always been interested in understanding the link between environment, territory, and the impact of health. So this interest of mine have been stimulated above all by some of my work experiences in particularly disadvantaged and remote country. So I introduce you my project, Artemis, like the goddess of hunt, and the name stands for Artificial Intelligence and Earth Observation for Monitoring of Greenhouse Gases Emitted by Landfills. My starting idea was therefore this, to identify highly polluting areas, collect data relating to the greenhouse gases they produce, and use this data for mainly two purposes. Improve the management of these areas and reduce the production of greenhouse gases, and measure their impact on public health in the medium and long term. So I thought about monitoring landfill because they are one of the major sources of pollution in urban areas. And furthermore, statistics worldwide tell us that for the most part, they are poorly regulated or controlled. For example, only Europe, there are almost 90% of them does not comply with the European norm, the directive. Moreover, as they are often found in proximity to build-up areas, their impact on health is known and can be significant. So to do this monitoring independently and remotely, I decided to use data from the European observation programs to evaluate greenhouse gases emissions and improve and integrate this data with artificial intelligence technology. The idea is therefore to use data of Sentinel-5 and Sentinel-2 missions and integrate them with those of the pollution monitoring station that are present in all cities, and to process this data with artificial intelligence algorithms to improve their accuracy. Although I'm not an expert, of course, in this field, I think that the acquisition of this data and their comparison can provide very useful information of the state of these plants and their operations. So, and therefore about their impact on the environment and on all of us. Since, moreover, since there's no currently remote monitoring system to control landfill greenhouse gas emission, its introduction could have economic and social benefits, according to me. First of all, being a remote monitoring system, it has the advantage of being able to apply it at anywhere and manage it extensively without going to individual sites. In addition, it has the advantage of data provided the Copernicus program, which is an independent tool, and the image system can be useful for promptly identifying critical situation and stimulating an improvement in disposal processes. For this reason, it could be a tool used both by landfill managers to be informed in real time and easily transmit data on their performance, but also by citizens to monitor the status of these places close to them and thus stimulating their active involvement in management of these landfills. Moreover, the collection of these long-term data could therefore guide a progressive implementation of waste disposal processes with an improvement of the environmental quality and therefore in the quality of the life of all citizens that lives around these areas. That's my idea.
Very much, Valentina, for your idea. Congratulations for your participation today. We really appreciate. This is your idea, something with a large societal impact. Thank you very much for sharing your idea with us.
Thank you.
Congratulations. So this concludes the second round of open calls with Georg and Valentina, two more members in our family, in the AI4Copernicus family. Let's proceed to the final slides. Again, I would like to congratulate all the winners, and I would like to thank very much the open calls team of AI4Copernicus that ran these first two rounds of calls. This took a lot of effort, and also the evaluation team inside AI4Copernicus that performed all the evaluations and will perform the coming ones, and also our expert advisory board that is supporting us in all this process. They have the final word for the final ranking of the proposals in order to select the winners. We haven't finished with the calls. We have two more rounds, the third and the fourth rounds of open calls. These have already been opened, and they will be open until the end of April. The third round of open calls is a round of open calls for experiments. These are smaller projects involving one beneficiary, one SME. These are single partner projects, and we do not have restrictions in this call for the domains. So in addition to the 4 initial ones, any other industrial domain can be used in these proposals. Apart from the third round of open calls, in parallel, we have the fourth round, which is again for use cases. I remind that use cases are larger projects of 2 or 3 SMEs, like it was in the first round of open calls. And the nice thing here is that these use cases are based also on the citizen social challenges provided through the second open call. The ideas provided by our citizens and additional ideas that address social challenges. These open calls will both run by the end of April. The platform for submitting proposals will be open on March 21, and it will be open until April 30. So again, congratulations to all the winners. And as I said before, and as Cecile and Esther mentioned before, we belong in a family of projects in the ICT49, and all these 6 projects are announcing, are supporting projects, SME projects coming through open calls, and there is a series of open calls that has already been opened in all these projects. These are listed here. Stairway has its first open call for SMEs until March 15. AI Plan for EU has an open call which is up to April 20 for use cases. For AI4Copernicus, we mentioned before. Bonzaps has announced its second open call for SMEs, which is open until August, so plenty of time. iEnergy has announced its second open call for SMEs, which will be open till October 22. And there is also the DIH for AI, which has its second open call open in September 22. So there are many opportunities in during the next months in all the family of ICT49 projects. Thank you very much all. Congratulations again to the winners, and please stay in touch with us. All the information, you can find it in the site of the AI4Copernicus project. We have run during last year a series of webinars in all 4 domains, and we plan to run additional webinars, technical webinars during this year, providing information on the services of the AI4Copernicus project and the AI on demand platform. Thank you again.